All right, so you're prepping for an import-export manager interview.
In the mining, construction,
Okay.
and civil engineering machinery world.
That's a mouthful.
It is.
Talk about moving mountains.
Yeah.
We've got your deep dive prepped with RoleCatcher Intel to nail those tricky questions.
It's a specialized field for sure, and interviewers want to see that you can handle those unique challenges.
For sure. And RoleCatcher is like having a secret weapon.
Mm-hmm.
It's this awesome platform for job seekers.
Yes.
Helping you tailor your resume practice interview questions.
Mm-hmm.
They've got over 120,000 of them.
Wow.
And even explore different career paths.
It's incredible the resources that they have.
Yeah.
Their AI-powered feedback is really where it shines.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Especially for interview prep.
Okay.
You can practice answering questions, and their AI analyzes your response and gives you tailored suggestions based on the specific job you're applying for.
So cool.
Almost like having a personal coach in your pocket.
I love that. But with so much information, where do we even begin?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
For interview prep, the Careers Interview Questions directory is key.
Okay.
It has over 3,000 career-specific guides, including one for import-export managers in your exact industry.
Nice.
And then you can refine your answers based on specific skills using the Skills Interview Questions directory.
Perfect. Okay, so let's dive right into those questions.
Sounds good.
What's the first one we're tackling?
First up, explain your experience in managing import and export operations in the mining, construction, and civil engineering machinery industry.
Okay.
It's a classic, but don't underestimate it.
It seems straightforward, but what are they really looking for here?
They want to see how you've handled the nitty-gritty of moving this specific type of heavy machinery internationally.
Okay.
Think customs regulations, specialized transportation, maybe even permits for oversized cargo.
Oh, wow.
It's not your average package delivery service.
Gotcha.
Right.
So instead of just listing jobs, I should highlight specific situations I dealt with.
Absolutely.
Like that time I had to negotiate a last-minute route change because a bridge couldn't handle the weight of a bulldozer.
That's a perfect example.
Really?
It shows you can think on your feet and solve problems under pressure.
Yeah.
And remember to quantify your successes.
Okay.
Did that rerouting save the company money or prevent a major project delay?
Right.
Those details matter.
They do. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what about compliance? I know that's a big deal in this industry.
Absolutely. They might ask, how do you ensure compliance with regulations and standards when importing and exporting mining, construction, and civil engineering machinery?
Okay, this is where things can get complex.
Yes.
There are so many rules.
Yes.
Safety, environmental, import-export procedures.
Yeah.
How deep do we go?
They want to know that you're not just aware of the rules, but that you understand their importance and how to apply them in real-world scenarios. Mention specific examples you've dealt with.
Okay.
Maybe a time you had to navigate a change in emissions standards for equipment going to a particular country.
Right.
It shows you're proactive and stay up to date.
So like that time I caught a paperwork discrepancy that could have held up a shipment at customs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It shows you're detail-oriented and committed to compliance.
That's good.
It also demonstrates your understanding of the potential consequences of non-compliance, which can be costly and damaging to a company's reputation.
Now, I'm curious about the relationship side of things. Building trust with suppliers and customers across borders can't be easy.
You're right. Expect a question like, how do you manage relationships with suppliers and customers when importing and exporting mining, construction, and civil engineering machinery?
Wow.
They want to see you can handle more than just logistics.
Right.
Right.
So it's about going beyond just good communication.
Yes.
What are they looking for specifically?
Think about building trust, resolving conflicts smoothly, and understanding cultural nuances.
Okay.
Can you share a time you went above and beyond for a client or a supplier? Maybe even navigating a language barrier or a time zone difference?
Ooh, I have a story once. A client's excavator broke down in a remote mine in South America.
Oh, no.
I worked late into the night coordinating with our team in Europe to find a replacement part and get it shipped out ASAP. It was stressful, but the client was so grateful for the extra effort.
That's a fantastic example.
Yeah.
It highlights your dedication, problem-solving skills, and cultural sensitivity.
Uh-huh.
It also shows you understand that building strong relationships is crucial for long-term success in international business.
For sure. All right, next up, risk management. That seems like a constant in this industry.
Definitely be ready for a question like, how do you manage risks when importing and exporting mining, construction, and civil engineering machinery?
Okay.
Think about the potential nightmares, transportation disruptions, customs, delays, even political instability in a region.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not just about knowing the risks,
Right,
but about having a plan to address them.
right.
Like when I rerouted a shipment to avoid a potential hurricane,
Mm-hmm.
ensuring the client received their equipment on time
Yeah.
and preventing damage.
Exactly, highlight your proactive approach.
Okay.
Do you use specialized insurance?
Mm-hmm.
Have you developed contingency plans?
Mm-hmm.
Do you communicate potential risks clearly to all parties involved?
Yep.
These are all things that demonstrate your ability to manage the unexpected.
Makes sense. You've got to be prepared for anything in this business.
Oh, for sure.
So how about cost effectiveness? I bet that's a big concern for employers.
You bet it is. Be ready for a question like, how do you ensure cost effectiveness when importing and exporting mining, construction, and civil engineering machinery?
Okay.
They want to see you can balance quality and compliance while keeping an eye on the bottom line.
So it's not just about haggling for the lowest price.
Right. Highlight your understanding of things like Incoterms.
Uh-huh.
Those are international commercial terms that define responsibilities and costs in a transaction.
Right.
Maybe you found ways to optimize shipping routes
Okay.
or explored alternative transport methods to save money.
Speaking of Incoterms, I remember a time when I suggested using a different Incoterm for a shipment to Brazil, which shifted some of the responsibility and cost to the seller. It saved our company a significant amount on insurance and transportation fees.
That's a great example.
Yeah.
It shows you understand the intricacies of international trade and can use your knowledge to benefit the company.
Mm-hmm.
It also demonstrates your ability to think strategically about cost management.
This is all starting to feel a bit less daunting.
Good.
RoleCatcher's really helping me see how to frame my experiences in a way that highlights my strengths.
That's the goal.
But with all these details, I'm a little worried about getting tongue-tied in the actual interview.
I understand that's where RoleCatcher's AI feedback comes in.
Okay.
You can practice answering these questions out loud, and their AI will analyze your delivery, giving you tips on pacing clarity, and even flagging any filler words you might be using.
Wow.
It's like having a personal speech coach.
That's so cool. It's almost like they've thought of everything to help me prepare.
They're definitely aiming to give job seekers an edge. Okay, ready for the next question?
Bring it on.
All right, let's talk about staying current in this ever-changing field. They might ask, how do you stay up to date with import-export regulations and industry trends?
Ooh, this one's right up my alley. I love learning new things, but how do I show them I'm on top of my game without boring them to tears?
Think specific, not generic. I read industry news is a snooze fest.
Right.
Mention specific publications associations or even a recent webinar that changed your approach.
Okay.
Shows you're actively seeking out knowledge.
Like that time I attended a conference on blockchain technology and how it's being used to streamline documentation in international shipping. I was fascinated by its potential to reduce fraud and increase transparency.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It shows you're not just keeping up with the basics, but that you're interested in innovation and how it can impact the industry.
For sure. It's exciting to see how technology is transforming the way we do business globally. Now bring on the next challenge.
Okay, here's one that requires some introspection. What do you consider the most challenging aspect of managing import-export operations in the mining, construction, and civil engineering machinery industry? This one can be tricky.
It can. I don't want to sound like a complainer,
Right.
but I also want to show them that I understand the real-world difficulties of this job. How do I strike that balance?
Honesty is key, but frame it positively.
Okay.
Choose a challenge that aligns with your strengths and highlight how you've successfully overcome similar challenges in the past.
Okay, so like that time, a new tariff policy completely threw a wrench in my plans, but I found a creative workaround by sourcing a key component from a different country. It was stressful, but it ultimately saved the project and showed my adaptability.
Exactly. You turned a potential negative into a positive.
Yeah.
Demonstrating your resilience and problem-solving skills.
Well,
These are qualities that employers value.
I'm really starting to see how each question is an opportunity to showcase my skills and experience. This is so helpful.
That's the mindset to have. Ready for another one.
You bet. Hit me with it.
Okay, let's focus on logistics. How do you ensure timely delivery of mining, construction, and civil engineering machinery? Time is money in this business.
Absolutely. So how do I assure them I'm all about punctuality without sounding like a robot?
This is your time to shine when it comes to logistics management.
Okay.
Highlight your planning skills, communication with carriers, and proactive approach to anticipating and addressing potential roadblocks.
Like that time, I proactively rerouted a shipment to avoid a hurricane, ensuring the client got their equipment on schedule. It was all about staying ahead of the curve and keeping everyone informed.
That's a fantastic example.
Yeah.
It shows you understand the interconnected nature of global shipping and are willing to go the extra mile to keep things running smoothly. It also highlights your ability to communicate effectively under pressure, which is crucial in this role.
These examples are really bringing the interview process to life. I'm feeling much more confident already.
That's what we like to hear. Okay, ready for the last question in this set?
Bring it on.
All right, let's talk leadership. How do you manage a team of import-export professionals? This one is all about your teamwork and management style.
Okay, time to showcase my leadership mojo, but how do I do that in an international context? It's not just about delegating tasks, right?
Right. Think about your ability to motivate a diverse team, communicate effectively across cultures, foster collaboration, and even mentor junior colleagues.
I remember when I was mentoring a new team member who was struggling with a complex customs issue in China. I helped her navigate the regulations, provided support, and ultimately boosted her confidence. It was a win for both her and the team.
Excellent. That story demonstrates your commitment to team development, your ability to guide others, and your cultural sensitivity. It also highlights your problem-solving skills and expertise in customs regulations.
This deep dive has been so helpful. It's amazing how RoleCatcher breaks down these questions and provides such targeted advice.
And remember, you can use their AI tool to practice answering all of these questions and receive personalized feedback. It's like having an expert in your corner every step of the way.
That's a game changer.
Yeah.
It's giving me the confidence to go into that interview feeling prepared and ready to shine.
Exactly. But before you start practicing, let's take a step back and look at some broader insights from RoleCatcher's career guide for this role.
Okay.
Understanding the bigger picture of this career path can help you tailor your answers and really connect with the interviewers.
That's a great idea. I'm always eager to learn more about the industry and what it takes to be successful. Where do we begin?
Let's start with the work environment.
Okay.
RoleCatcher's guide highlights the fact that this role can involve working in a fast-paced, high-pressure environment, often managing multiple projects simultaneously and dealing with unexpected challenges. It also mentions the possibility of frequent travel to different countries and regions.
That sounds both exciting and demanding.
It does.
So they're looking for someone who can handle stress work independently and adapt to new situations quickly.
Absolutely. And it's not just about managing tasks, it's about managing people. The guide emphasizes the importance of strong communication and negotiation skills,
Right.
as you'll be interacting with a wide range of people, both internally and externally.
Okay.
Suppliers, customers, government agencies, logistics providers, you name it.
Wow, that's a lot of juggling. It seems like building strong relationships is key to success in this role.
It absolutely is. Now, let's talk about the impact of technology on the field.
Oh, right. Technology is changing everything these days. What's RoleCatcher's take on that?
They point out that advancements like e-commerce platforms, blockchain, and artificial intelligence are transforming the cross-border business landscape.
Interesting.
These technologies are enabling faster, more efficient, and more secure transactions.
So an import-export manager needs to be familiar with these emerging technologies and understand their potential impact on international trade.
Absolutely. And the guide even specifically mentions the importance of understanding blockchain technology and its potential to streamline documentation and reduce fraud risks.
That's fascinating. I'm eager to learn more about how these technologies are being applied in the industry.
That's a great segue into our next section. We're going to dive deeper into the pros and cons of this career path as outlined in RoleCatcher's guide.
Okay.
It's important to have a realistic perspective on both the rewards and challenges.
That sounds like a great place to pick up after a quick break. We'll be back soon with more insights from RoleCatcher.
Sounds good.
All right, see you in a few.
CS? Welcome back. We were about to explore the pros and cons of a career as an import-export manager in the mining, construction, and civil engineering machinery industry.
I'm ready for the inside scoop. Let's start with the good stuff, the pros. What are some of the perks of this career path, according to RoleCatcher?
Well, the guide highlights the high earning potential, which is always a plus.
Always good.
It also mentions the opportunities for international travel and networking, which can be a major draw for someone who enjoys experiencing different cultures and building global connections.
Yeah, those are some definite perks. I love the idea of traveling the world for work and meeting people from different backgrounds.
And it's not just about the travel.
Right.
It's about the impact you can have.
Okay.
The guide also mentions the satisfaction of being involved in global trade and business, playing a key role in connecting companies and facilitating major projects.
That's really appealing, knowing that your work is contributing to something larger than yourself.
But it's not all glamorous travel and big deals.
Right.
RoleCatcher also outlines some potential cons to consider.
Right. Every job has its downsides.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges they highlight?
The guide mentions the potential for economic downturns to impact the industry, which can lead to uncertainty and job instability. It also points out that the work-life balance can be challenging,
Yeah,
especially with the potential for extensive travel and long hours.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's definitely something to consider, especially if you have family commitments or prioritize a specific lifestyle.
And it's a competitive field. The guide highlights the high competition for job opportunities.
Right.
So you need to be prepared to stand out from the crowd.
Okay, that's where RoleCatcher's resources and AI tools can really make a difference. Speaking of standing out, what does RoleCatcher's guide say about specialisms within this field? Are there different areas you can focus on?
Unfortunately, this specific career guide doesn't delve into specializations,
Oh,
but it's a great question to keep in mind as you research different companies and roles.
okay, that makes sense. Each industry might have its own unique set of specializations. So how about educational pathways? What kind of background do you need to break into this field?
RoleCatcher's guide suggests a range of relevant degree subjects, including international business supply chain management logistics, business administration economics, and even engineering.
Wow, that's quite a mix. It seems like a diverse range of educational backgrounds can lead to a career in import-export management.
It definitely highlights that there's no single right path. What's important is developing a strong foundation in business principles, understanding global trade, and honing those critical thinking and problem-solving skills.
And of course, gaining practical experience through internships or entry-level positions is invaluable.
Absolutely. Now let's delve into the functions and core ability section. This outlines the nitty-gritty of what an import-export manager does day to day.
I'm all ears. I always appreciate a clear breakdown of responsibilities.
The guide lists key functions like developing and implementing import-export strategies, identifying and evaluating potential markets, negotiating contracts, managing logistics, ensuring compliance, and of course, managing financial risks.
It sounds like a role that requires a strategic mind, but also a hands-on approach.
Exactly. And when it comes to core abilities, the guide emphasizes monitoring, critical thinking, active listening, coordination, reading comprehension.
Oh, wow.
Yes, even in today's digital world, you need to be able to read those contracts.
That's true.
And importantly, speaking and writing.
So communication skills are key.
Absolutely, especially in an international context where you're dealing with people from diverse cultures and backgrounds.
Yeah.
You need to be able to convey information clearly and persuasively, both verbally and in writing.
This is really painting a picture of the ideal candidate, someone who's organized, analytical, a strong communicator, and comfortable navigating a complex global landscape.
Precisely. And that brings us to a crucial point, interview prep. Questions to expect.
Okay.
RoleCatcher provides a list of common questions that are likely to come up in your interview, and guess what?
We've already covered most of them.
Exactly. By diving deep into each question, we've essentially done a mock interview. But remember, practice makes perfect.
And that's where RoleCatcher's AI tools come in, right?
Precisely, you can practice answering these questions using their AI feedback tool,
Okay.
which will analyze your responses, highlight areas for improvement, and even suggest alternative phrasing or examples to strengthen your answers.
It's like having a personal interview coach available 24/7.
Now, before we jump into the next section, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the Advancing Your Career section of RoleCatcher's Guide.
Okay.
This is especially relevant for those who are just starting out or looking to climb the ladder in this field.
I'm always interested in learning about career progression. What does RoleCatcher suggest for those who are new to the import-export world?
They emphasize the importance of gaining hands-on experience,
Okay.
suggesting internships or entry-level positions in companies involved in international trade logistics or supply chain management. Volunteering for projects related to import-export processes is another great way to get your foot in the door.
So it's all about building that foundational knowledge and experience early on. What about strategies for advancement? What can you do to move up the ranks in this field?
RoleCatcher recommends pursuing advanced degrees or certifications, showcasing your capabilities through a portfolio or case studies, and actively networking within the industry.
Okay.
It's about demonstrating your expertise and building your reputation as a go-to professional in this space.
Those are all great tips. I especially appreciate the advice on networking. Building strong relationships is crucial in any field, but it seems especially important in the world of import-export.
Absolutely. Now let's take a closer look at the typical career progression in this field.
Okay.
RoleCatcher's Guide outlines 4 key stages:
Hmm.
entry-level import-export, assistant import-export coordinator, senior import-export specialist, and finally, import-export manager.
That's a helpful roadmap.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how the responsibilities and skills evolve at each stage.
So entry level, you'll be assisting the import-export manager with various tasks,
Okay.
like coordinating documentation, supporting logistics, conducting research, and collaborating with internal and external stakeholders. It's a great opportunity to learn the ropes and gain a broad understanding of the import-export process.
It sounds like a great starting point for someone who's eager to learn and get involved in the day-to-day operations.
Exactly. And as you progress to the role of import-export coordinator, you'll take on more responsibility for coordinating import-export activities, ensuring compliance with regulations, managing relationships with suppliers and customers, and identifying opportunities for cost savings.
So the focus shifts to more hands-on management and problem solving at this level.
Exactly. And as you move up to the senior import-export specialist role, you'll start to focus more on strategic planning, risk assessment, team leadership, and providing guidance to junior staff.
It seems like leadership skills become increasingly important as you progress in this career.
Absolutely. And finally, at the import-export manager level, you'll be responsible for developing and executing import-export strategies, managing budgets, building relationships with key stakeholders, and leading a team of professionals.
Wow, that's a lot of responsibility. It sounds like a challenging but rewarding role for someone who thrives on leadership and strategic thinking.
It definitely is. Now, let's move on to a section that can be incredibly helpful in demystifying this role. The Import-Export Manager in Mining, Construction, and Civil Engineering Machinery, FAQs. This section dives into some of the most common questions about this specific career path.
FAQs are always a great resource for clarifying key points. What are some of the questions covered in this section?
The FAQs cover a wide range of topics, including the specific responsibilities of the role, the required skills and qualifications, the contributions an import-export manager makes to an organization, and the challenges they might face.
Okay, let's break those down one by one. First up, responsibilities. What does RoleCatcher highlight as the key tasks of an import-export manager in this industry?
They reiterate many of the functions we've already discussed, including developing and implementing import-export strategies, coordinating with internal teams and external partners, managing documentation and compliance, monitoring market trends, negotiating contracts, and importantly, continuously improving import-export procedures to optimize efficiency and minimize costs.
It sounds like a role that requires a combination of strategic thinking, attention to detail, and a proactive approach to problem solving.
You've hit the nail on the head, and speaking of problem solving, the FAQs also delve into the specific skills required to excel in this role.
I'm eager to hear more about those. What does RoleCatcher highlight as the essential skills for an import-export manager in this industry?
They emphasize a strong knowledge of international trade regulations and customs procedures, excellent communication and negotiation skills, attention to detail, analytical and problem-solving abilities, organizational skills, the ability to work under pressure proficiency in using relevant software and systems knowledge of the mining, construction, and civil engineering machinery industry, and cultural sensitivity and understanding.
That's a comprehensive list. It highlights the importance of combining technical expertise with strong interpersonal and communication skills.
And it underscores the need for continuous learning and adaptability in this ever-evolving field. Now, let's talk about qualifications. What kind of educational background and experience do employers typically look for in an import-export manager?
That's a key question for anyone considering this career path.
RoleCatcher suggests having a bachelor's degree in a relevant field like international business supply chain management or logistics. They also recommend previous experience in import-export operations, ideally within the mining, construction, or civil engineering machinery sector.
So a solid educational foundation coupled with real-world experience is crucial for demonstrating your capabilities in this field.
Exactly. Now let's shift our focus to the impact an import-export manager has on an organization. The FAQs highlight several key contributions, including establishing efficient import-export procedures to ensure smooth operations, facilitating cross-border business, and expanding global reach, ensuring compliance to minimize risks, monitoring market trends to identify opportunities, and maintaining strong relationships with international partners.
It's clear that import-export managers play a vital role in driving business growth and success on a global scale.
Absolutely, but it's also important to acknowledge the challenges that come with this role. The FAQs outline some potential hurdles, such as dealing with complex and ever-changing international trade regulations, managing logistics for multiple shipments across different countries, navigating cultural differences and language barriers, and handling unexpected delays or disruptions in the import-export processes.
It sounds like a demanding role that requires a high level of adaptability, problem-solving skills, and a deep understanding of the complexities of international trade.
That's a great summary. Now let's take a quick break before we wrap up with some final insights and tips from RoleCatcher to help you ace that interview.
We're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into acing that import-export manager interview in the mining, construction, and civil engineering machinery world.
It's been a journey for sure, but with RoleCatcher as your guide, you're well on your way to crushing it.
Absolutely. We've covered so much ground, from understanding the core responsibilities and skills to tackling those tough interview questions. But before we go, I want to make sure we've squeezed every drop of wisdom out of RoleCatcher.
Okay.
What else you got for us?
Remember that skills interview questions directory we talked about earlier?
Yes.
It's a goldmine for targeted practice.
Right. It breaks down those essential skills even further.
Exactly. It covers everything from understanding financial terminology and ensuring customs compliance to managing processes and mitigating financial risks in international trade.
Wow.
It even has a section on speaking different languages.
Oh, nice.
Which can be a huge asset in this field.
That's so smart. It lets you focus on specific skills and tailor your responses to highlight your strengths.
And the best part, each skill guide has targeted advice and practice questions, so you can really hone in on the areas where you want to shine.
It's like having a personalized training program for each key skill. RoleCatcher really has thought of everything. But let's be honest, even with all this prep, interviews can be nerve-wracking. How can I make sure I come across confidently and authentically?
Remember, your experience is your superpower. Those stories you've shared throughout this deep dive, negotiating that last-minute route change, catching that paperwork discrepancy, going above and beyond for that client in South America, those are what will make you stand out.
You're right. It's not just about memorizing answers. It's about showcasing my problem-solving skills, adaptability, and passion for the industry.
Exactly. And don't forget about RoleCatcher's AI feedback tool practice, answering those questions out loud, and their AI will analyze your delivery, helping you fine-tune your pace and clarity, and even flag those pesky filler words we all tend to use when we're nervous.
It's like having a virtual interview coach giving you real-time feedback that's invaluable.
And remember, it's not just about what you say, but how you say it. Confidence is key. Believe in yourself, your experience, and your ability to excel in this role.
This deep dive has been so empowering. It's like RoleCatcher has given me a roadmap to success, not just for this interview, but for my entire career in import-export.
And remember, this is just the beginning. The world of international trade is constantly evolving, and continuous learning is essential. Stay curious. Embrace new technologies and never stop seeking out opportunities for growth.
So true. This industry is all about moving mountains, literally and figuratively. I'm excited to see what challenges and opportunities lie ahead.
And remember, with RoleCatcher in your toolkit, you're well equipped to conquer them.
Well, there you have it. Your deep dive into acing that import-export manager interview, armed with RoleCatcher's insights, your own experience, and a healthy dose of confidence. You're ready to move those mountains. Good luck on your interview. And before we sign off, one final thought for you as you step into that interview room. Remember what brought you here. Your passion for international business, your drive to succeed, and your unique skills and experiences, let those be your guiding force, and you'll shine. Good luck.